The church is really a gem of Philadelphia. It's a remarkable example. The integrity is very high, despite the condition. Original stained glass, original carpentry, all the interior woodwork, the encaustic floor, tile floors. Really everything here is salvageable, and we hope through good study and then a slow and deliberate process of restoration, the church can get their building back, the congregation can have their church back.
Of course, it is an important work by the architect Frank Furness and his partner George Hewitt. This is the only colorful Furness and Hewitt church we have left, the only one built out of serpentine. The works of Frank Furness are few and far between, despite the fact that he's acknowledged as the city's great architect of the late 19th century. So on architectural merits alone, I think it's a very important building. You could extend that too to the story of the stained glass, which was, at least for the major windows, done by a New Jersey firm called Slack and Booth that did some of the most elaborate Gothic revival windows of that time.
We just recently had an expert to come in through the university, and they did a specification report on how rare they are. And in their condition now, we're at a point of ASAP, if you will, of getting them restored or either get them supported so we won't lose them. The pieces that are there, we can have it repaired. Pieces fall and they break. That's unrepairable.
We came to this site knowing that it was in trouble. Licenses and inspections had condemned the building after a combination of Hurricane Irene and a small earthquake had begun to dislodge some of the exterior masonry. I applied for a small emergency grant from the National Trust for Historic Preservation, and we got about $1,500 to do purchase of emergency supplies. And I keenly remember the day that Deacon Butler and Reverend Smith and I drove to Home Depot with Reverend Smith's truck and filled it up with the first supplies. I actually have photos of that.
And we just got up. I got up with my tools and some more volunteers. And what you see is what we were able to stop, because if we didn't do that, I wouldn't be standing here today. This building would be gone.
Our next meeting, we're going to be focusing on the lower tower, and also the roof on the south side. We need to work on that.
Yeah, this is a major project, but this is what we're worried about right now. That guy right there.
You're right.
That's the one we don't want to fall out.
That's correct.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And where we are today and where we're going is really, 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 really exciting. You know, we have a new pastor now, and we're excited about that.
And this is my home church where I was saved, church where I was licensed as a minister, where I was married to my dear Rosa, our kids were dedicated, where my heart was heavy because of the condition of the church, and I wanted to come back and to help and to offer what I could do. And the benefit is that the congregation knows me and I know the congregation. So we're looking forward to great things, looking for the people to rise up and to build. So we're excited about what's going to take place here.
One of the lessons I drew from this as someone who does historic preservation as an academic is how important it is when everyone is telling you you have to do this project with insured contractors and an elaborate planning process, to be able to say, yes, you're right, but in the interim, we just need to get in here and do the work, and we need to be able to make do. And $1,500 and a lot of volunteer labor does that.